What's good, everybody? We back. It is another Friday, and you know what that means. It's time for another album review from us, the Interlude. And today we going back to hip hop, real hip hop. You know what I'm saying? We getting it cracking. We making it happen. Bro, go ahead. Tell them who we doing this week, bro.
We got a part of, Griselda. We got to do another one of them. We're going to go with Westside Gunn right here, man, and his take Pray for Paris,
Yeah.
which he dropped earlier this year. Dog, how you feeling about it?
Man, I feel it's one of the it's one of them drops of 2020. I ain't gonna lie, it's one of them drops of 2020. I know me and you was talking. I fuck with Benny. I said I fuck with Benny when we was talking about Freddie tape, but I was still getting into Griselda, so Conway and Westside Gunn. And I remember hearing this for the first time, and I think I remember it because like when it dropped, I think like some other bullshit dropped that weekend that people weren't fucking with, and so everybody was like basically like what Gunn saved the weekend in terms of music, which he did if I remember correctly, but becoming more of a fan of Griselda as a whole and just that style of rap, because like we talked about, and we both fans of real hip hop, and that's the feel they get from New York, from Buffalo. But yeah, it's definitely one of them ones of the year, and I'm ready to dive into it. What about you?
Yeah, for sure. I ain't gonna fake it because I wasn't I wasn't as aware. So when I first heard this tape, it was like, and I heard it on a limb. I'm just like, I believe it's exactly what you said. Somebody shared the tape with me, and I just sat, and I'm just letting that bitch slide. Like I ain't even play from the start. I think I just shuffled, and so I was just like, now I got to play the tape back. But we can go ahead and get into it. Tell the people what it is, man.
Yeah. So the intro, which is 400 million plus tax, it's such a like it makes sense. Like it makes sense for them to have an intro like this that is about art piece being sold. Didn't realize it was the highest selling art piece of all time as of last year, at least. I don't know if that changed or not, but that's crazy. But it kind of just speaks to the theme of the album. I mean, he talked about it. It's like the album is inspired by his trip, to Paris. So a lot of the songs and a lot of the themes come from, things he experienced out there, things he saw out there. So to start out with that painting, and I think it just builds this idea of luxury, which the album kind of plays on, in and out as well, song to song. So I love the intro, honestly, as an introduction to what he's about to get into. I fuck with it heavy.
And I think what made it so good, because like we're used to luxury rap, but we're not used to like real gritty luxury rap, because you still like in the way he spit, you still hear the rawness of like to the core of like this hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like, but he's telling it from his scope, his view. So I thought that shit was mad dope. Just to implement that sound to luxury, because when we hear luxury, you thinking of Ross,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, and just that sound that come with, just the sound that come with that. But like this, you just like on some damn, like, yeah, nigga, I can help these niggas rob somebody type shit and live good, nigga. Like that's how.
Street luxury though. I feel like street luxury definitely has a different sound than the luxury rap we're accustomed to. So I think that's the difference we hear when we think of hearing somebody like Westside, and even when you hear, Benny, on certain songs, and the difference in like Ross and your Jays and your other people kind of, dig into luxury rap. But yeah, then we get into the second track, No Vacancy. I love how it kind of goes back and forth between having like some shorter tracks where he only gives one verse, and then having some longer tracks where he gives three, or there's just more people on the song. But I think No Vacancy was cool. Not something to me like I hung my hat on, or I was like stuck with per se. But it was a good kind of like intro song, actual song to the album. But not too much. It didn't like nothing stood out to me other than it just being, a cool song and just sonically fitting the theme up to this point. But did you feel anything about it, or did anything stick with you?
Um, I just like how he just really kind of talked this shit in like a little small Like just it was like I wasn't even a full 16 bars or anything. It's just he just really wrapped it up short and simple, but still talking his shit, and it still had a vibe to it. But it's nothing like that you would really take away, like you said. It's not one of them takeaway tracks, but it's definitely something. To me, it's a fulfillment track. That's what I say. And like it fulfills like, all right, moving on to the next track, it did what it had to do. It's not so much that bitch was weak. But it fulfilled me for that sense because it's just like, all right, that nigga can just talk his shit for a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Just a minute of just saying whatever the fuck you want to say, but that shit sound good, you know?
Yeah, nah, most definitely. I mean, I think we're seeing a trend with albums where, at least the albums like we've been reviewing, it don't have bad songs necessarily. Like he don't have songs like he could have kept, but it's songs that just, like you said, got fulfillment purposes, need to be filler songs in the album, help transition or help just kind of get things started, but they don't have to be standout. So that's how I feel about No Vacancy. George Bondo. I mean, that's the first.
I fuck with it.
I do. And it's the first place on the album where we see Griselda basically link up. And for me, I hadn't really heard Griselda together on a lot of songs, to be honest. So this was kind of like a little bit of a surprise for me, just in the sense of hearing them. But they fit well, together, like as a group, and their styles complement each other greatly. So again, I fuck with it heavy. I feel like Westside Gunn gets not shown up, but like I don't think he has, the best verse. I think
he can't. I think that's what it is about him. It's not even about him having the best verse. He just has a very different sound than the both of them. Yeah. So for him, that's always gonna stand out if you want to track with a nigga that's flowing over you, and the other nigga that's semi flowing over the other motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh well, I sound like this, and the motherfuckers, if you a fan of hip hop, you gonna want to sit there and be like, all right, what the fuck this nigga saying? Like, what is he talking about? Type shit like that. What I did love about this track, I love how they flex their belief. As far as you could tell, they heavy centered Muslim views and stuff like that. They flexed that a lot throughout the album and stuff like that. But he kicked off his whole verses, talking this shit like that. So I thought that was pretty dope. And like you said, just showing the full range of the entire, Griselda. That shit was fire. No, for the first full song on the tape, that shit was fire.
Yeah, it was a standout in that sense for me. I'm not sure where it really falls in terms of like my favorites. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It may or may not change as we go through the songs, but it's definitely a standout nonetheless. So I think we agree on that point. Next song, 327, star-studded track, has Tyler the Creator, Joey Badass, and then there's another artist as well, and I keep forgetting their name. Billy Esco. Don't know much about him, but he's on the song. Had a cool part. I know. But no, 327. I would say for sure this is probably one of my favorite tracks on the album. I know. So you said that the beat didn't do it for you. I didn't really have a problem with the beat. I will change my stance on the hook. The hook is fire, even though it didn't initially like stick with me. I do fuck with. Fuck with
fire. That nigga, yeah, that whole fire. That man. Okay, I'll say this about the beat. It wasn't. The beat is a beat that you have to. I think for me in this song, the lyrics stood out more to me than the actual beat. Sometimes I guess I'm used to getting drawn out by like a hard ass beat. And if you're gonna be, I mean, because they all talk their shit on this motherfucker. Like, let's not get it wrong on there. But I guess I thought the beat was gonna boom a little harder. I guess I wanted that just because of how the hook was. Like, reading that motherfucker, you just like, yeah, you expected that bitch to be just like, I don't know, hitting the whip different. But it's still hitting the whip, but just like the boom, yeah.
That's real. I guess I can see it from that standpoint. I guess you see the features and you feel like that beat is gonna be something different. Like, definitely something whip ready, whip work.
Exactly.
I think because to me the beat reminds me of the Freddie and Tyler track. Like that's the feel I get from the beat. So that's why for me, with them, with the bars that came with it, I didn't have a problem with the beat because I'm like the beat left room for them to focus on the bars. To me, if it was a hard hitting beat, I felt like it may be easy to miss bars. If you so captivated by the beat, which I mean ain't bad, but that's why I didn't personally have a problem with it. But I do feel that I do understand where the expectation can cause a bit of a letdown if it don't slap the way you expect it to or the way you think it's gonna slap. But 327 is definitely a standout for me. French toast. French toast is cool. French toast is cool. My stance on it is I like the song, but I personally wish Wale would have came harder. And me and you was talking about it, but I think I know Wale has the ability like to really spaz, especially over a beat that like gives him room to just like really wordplay and like really get into that bag, which is very deep for him. So that was my only thing with that. I don't think it was a bad verse or nothing like that. I just thought we could have got a little bit more from Wale. Like I know he has some more tricks in the bag in terms of, like wordplay and lyricism and stuff like that I personally would have wanted to see. But I'm not mad at the track. What about you?
I believe I don't think Wale did that bad, man.
He didn't do that bad. I just wanted more. That's me. I just wanted more from him.
Like, all right, my question would be what exactly do you want him to do to the beat in a sense?
I just want him to come harder. I feel like he was like real laid back and not come harder like he needs to be more aggressive on the beat. I just feel like even in being laid back, Wale's just too cold of a lyricist. He's too much of a wordsmith to I feel like he kind of like took a verse off. That's how I felt. Like it wasn't bad, but like I know you could have hit us with a couple more on time, a couple little metaphor played on that beat. You could have really just played around with that beat and you could have really did your thing on it. To me, I've seen him like do more with less.
Okay.
That's what it is for me.
Well, in my opinion, I thought Wale did his thing. It was cool. I guess I really wasn't expecting much. I was really surprised by the feature. I would say that in a sense. So I didn't put heavy expectations on it. I fucked with it. And then Joyce Wright did her motherfucking thing. So
yeah, she's fire. I definitely want to get into more of her music. And Gunn actually mentioned that like when he got the beat, like he realized he wanted to make it a song, for the ladies. And with that being the intention, that's why he reached out to Wale for that specific reason, because it was a song more laid back, more meant for the ladies. So kind of knowing that too, I'm kind of like, oh well, if he tapped you for that specific reason, I'm trying to hear spin game Wale. I'm trying to hear breakup song Wale. Like I'm just trying to hear him getting that real like girl rap bag that I know he got. But either I'm not mad at it. Like I don't think he did bad at all, but just my thoughts on it. Next song, Eurostep.
Eurostep was cool. It was nice, one of them transition songs. Do it have replay value? You got to be in the mood for it. I feel like if you in the mood for it, then hell yeah. Not a bad track. I fuck with it. Another one of them tracks is just like just Westside flexing him. You know what I'm saying? Flexing his style in a sense. How you feel about it?
Same, really. It's not a standout. It's not something that it's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like it's him flexing, it's him doing what we would expect him to do on a song where he's just by himself. It's pretty, on par and on track with what Gunn do. So not too much, not a standout or nothing like that.
Okay.
The next song, Allah Sent Me.
I fuck with Allah Sent Me. I ain't even gonna fake it to you.
You ain't gotta fake it, bro. You ain't gotta fake the funk, bro. It's cool.
Hey, that motherfucker, that's damn near a 5-minute song, and that bitch heat the whole 5 minutes, bro. Benny, Conway, they just really flex.
Another, you know what I'm saying? Like when they link up, and this was a song where, if I'm not mistaken, they was going back. They don't really have it. It's not really a hook or a chorus. Like they just switch off in between verses. Like they each go like 4 bars, and then they done. But not, and even that in itself, again, they complement each other really well. And I think Westside Gunn sounds better and is a little bit
Together.
easier to listen to when he's surrounded by those two specifically. Which isn't a knock on him or anything. I think it's just it speaks to them as a group more so, in my opinion. But that's how I feel about that. But I really do fuck with that song, and I really fuck with what they did on that song for sure. So definitely another standout. Not sure if it's in my top 3 yet.
You got any standout lines from the track?
None that well. No, because the man for the first minute and a half of the song wanted to say boom, the word boom 150 times. Like that's unnecessary. Boom, 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 boom. Like we don't after.
It's his style. It's his style, bro.
I'm just saying, like, can we get to the bars, please? Like you did that for a minute and a half.
Hey, I fuck with it. I'm like, nigga better come out the gate just talking his shit. Or anybody, whoever the first verse is talking shit.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then yeah, no, they was all special. I don't got any standout bars for real. Mainly because like when you listen to bars like that, like it's sometimes it take a minute to even catch them for real. So I listen both times and I'm looking at the lyrics and sometimes like they still ain't like hit me what they was actually saying. I can kind of get like they put a bar together, but I'm not really getting like what they saying. Like
Okay.
it'd be like that when I listen to rappers like them. But still it stand out to me for sure. Next, 500 ounces.
It's my shit. It's
yeah,
my shit right here.
I mean,
500 ounces is my shit, man.
Yeah, our boy Freddie, you know, it's featured on the track. Gibbs is on the track. I mean, Gibbs and Gunn don't really miss, honestly. Gibbs,
bro.
Gibbs and Gunn don't miss, so I don't.
I think, and like you knew as soon as it came on, this is a Freddie beat. Like you knew instantly Freddie was gonna eat this motherfucker, bro. Like just the you just like, yeah, that's Freddie. That's Freddie. Even if you don't gotta see the name, you like this Freddie on that.
Yeah.
So I fuck with it. I fuck with the sound of it. I fuck with just Freddie just floating on that motherfucker, like doing what he do. And I think this is another one where it kind of, I don't think Westside as an artist sounds better when he's, I don't even want to say feature because it's his track, but it's like when you don't have to make the full song like him. When there's somebody else can take the pressure off of him, that's when he kind of shines better as a rapper. So
yeah, and I also think Gunn seems like to me, from what I've heard, more of an artist that not that he relies on features, but like you said, he sounds better, and I feel like he kind of subconsciously elevates, you know, his game when he has another artist on the track, which is good for him because I think he got bars regardless. I ain't saying he don't got bars, but I think when he's by himself, I think there's a lot more things working against him just from a listener standpoint than things working in his favor. Like we said, like from the voice to just his style even. So I think sometimes when he's on a track or match with people who are like that and not so much have a bigger presence, but just can really kind of pull, you know, a little bit more aggression out of him or more so like pull more bars out of him, I think that is where he shines as well. So Versace is the next track, and I fuck with this heavy, and I fuck with it more because I didn't realize who produced it. But the fact that Jay Versace produced this track, and it's this sample is fire, like this beat in itself is fire. It's soulful, but it's so chill. It leaves so much room, you know, for the artists to still do their thing. And there's a lot of people that probably could have been on the beat like this, like Push could have did something with the beat. Just come to mind. Like it's a lot of people that probably.
Push was on Versace.
Hey, listen, that's a problem. You know what I'm saying? But I fuck with Versace. And not sure if it's a standout or something that will fall on my top. Well, it's a standout from the album to me, but I don't think it would be in my top 3. But definitely,
for me. It's not a top 3 at all. But I think what made that shit a standout was the fact that, like you said, Jay Versace produced it. Like after I heard it, I'm like, damn, this beat hard. Like, I was like, yeah, this motherfucker raw. And then like I think like a couple weeks later, I'm reading online and they was like, yeah, Jay Versace was featured on Westside Gunn album. So I'm like, how the fuck he was featured on there? Like I didn't see the name on there or anything. I'm going through the credits and his name on the producer track. I was like, yeah, that shit raw. Like that's fire.
Now I don't know if it was coincidence that he named the track Versace or not, but
I think it was. I think all that shit like just really. I mean, Paris, all that shit. It just kind of
Yeah,
came in.
it works. It works, you know. So next song, Claiborne Kick. I feel like it's another one of them songs like a fulfillment track. Like it didn't really stand out to me, but it's a solid song, you know, nonetheless. But I think if I'm not mistaken, I don't know who's on that with him.
James.
Both Jones. He made an appearance on this tape twice, and he's on a couple of Guns mixtapes. He's solid, you know, but again, just something that it's it's just there. It's just a cool song. It wasn't one of the standouts for me at all. What about you?
I think for me, Claiborne Kick, personally for me, it was I replay that more than the other songs that I wouldn't replay. Like I replay that before Euro Step. I replay it before No Vacancy. About would replay it before Versace. Like I mean, I fucked with it. So yeah, and like you said, Bodie James, every like showing up on the tape alongside Westside, he doing his shit. Like he's really doing his shit. So I fuck with it.
That's real. That's real. Next song, this your shit. You said this your shit.
Yeah, bro.
Converse Flair. I mean, love the wrestling references, man. Like I said, I didn't realize that was a big part of Gunn's career, but there's a heavy wrestling influence, and so man, like Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair, that whole thing, like classic wrestlers. But yeah, why is this one of your favorite tracks on the tape?
I feel like just with the fact that the song, if you just know about Shawn and the battle of Shawn and Ric Flair, like if you was a wrestling fan and just watching that whole thing, that battle was like fucking legendary. You know what I'm saying? Like the little bro takes on the big bro and shit. It's like the student surpasses the master. So on this track, it was really like Westside was in the beat, bro. Like the beat so raw. Like the beat is real deal hip hop. So it's like it's a student of the game of hip hop. He's trying to. I felt like personally he was trying to beat the beat. I fuck with what he was talking about throughout the track, but like this track showed me that he was trying to really flex like his bars, his love for hip hop in a sense, and like just really kind of talk about him in a sense, as well as more references towards his personal beliefs and shit like that. So I fucked with it heavy. Like I just fucked with the whole theme of the track, the beat, the bars. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say it took you mentioning it, but I would say like considering all those things, I don't know if it's creeped in my top 3 yet. We'll have to see. But
no,
it definitely is one of them ones. Definitely a standout for sure. Definitely I will go back to, and definitely something that's memorable. I think the beat and the sample in the beginning are extremely memorable, and then for him to follow with the bars that he followed with, yeah, no, definitely a standout. Definitely probably one of the best showings on the album from him, especially with him being by himself.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Next song, so Party with Pop Smoke. I'll put it like this: the song in itself, actually, I'm gonna rephrase all that. I ain't even say that, but I'm gonna change exactly what I was about to say. So the song is actually really solid to me, but what makes it extremely solid is the feature. So I've never heard of this woman before. I don't know much about her music, but the spoken word that she did in this song was crazy, like ridiculous. I don't even know if I've really ever heard anything like that in rap before, like that I can remember. I haven't really heard it, and I really fucked with that. And I think it only adds to it, like the story of Westside Gunn, like kicking it with Pop Smoke in Paris, and then on top of that, also the fact that Tyler produced this song. So I think there's just so much going into this song that makes it a standout in the sense of the creation of
the history behind a track. It's like you become engulfed in that track in the sense it's like you become part of it. Like it hit differently when you listen to it rather opposed to like you don't know no background information from it. You don't even know who produced it, anything. You just listen and like if I was a nigga not really looking into the profile of who made this track, who Westside Gunn is, or even the backstory of him chilling with Pop, it just would have been like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a cool little track, you know what I'm saying? But like what you just said, everything kind of fulfilled the aesthetic of the track, which for me kind of made it like I fuck with it because of knowing that shit. You know what I'm saying? Knowing the background of it, knowing who produced it, the spoken word. Like I love poetry. You know what I'm saying? Like the one thing though I thought was fucking cool. Like the nigga was naming off some rich nigga shit that I ain't never even heard of. Nigga, I'm doing my Googles. Like damn. Like. Like, all right, what's this? What's that? But I like that. Like, it takes luxury to a different level. That's just like, you're going to bump that shit because it makes you feel like, I don't know, it makes, talking like that, it just make you feel different. It's like, all right, what is that shit like in a sense? And hearing them niggas talk about it, that shit, that's solid to me.
Yeah, nah, very solid. Again, another standard, like he has a lot of songs, even if they're not songs that somebody would put in their top 3, he has a lot of songs for different reasons that just stand out on this album.
You could take from it. You could take from the songs that's not stand out and really just be like, oh, this shit not, you know what I'm saying? Like if you replay it, like on a good day, if you just going through if you just letting the tape slide, you're like, damn, this might have been a sleeper on the tape. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I feel like after your first song, your first listen, you going solely in with the purpose of like, I'm choosing this one. I like that song. I like that song type of shit like that. So.
Yeah, for sure. No, definitely another standout. And honestly, not a bad way to be ending the album either. So we get to the final track on the album. I do not know how to pronounce this. I am not gonna lie.
Jaliba. That's what this shit looks like.
Yeah,
I know I probably pronounced that shit very wrong. So, you know, somebody. Look, we tried.
Look,
we tried.
Let us know. I really want to say the word, honestly.
How you feel? Yeah. He was back on his boom boom shit. This track.
Hey, look, bro. My thing with this, he ain't gotta let it go. I get it's his style, but Jesus Christ, like this is. Like, come on, brother. But no. But I mean, honestly, I fuck with the track though. Like sonically, I really do fuck with the track. He doesn't really say much to end it off. It's relatively short. But you know, I mean, what he does say is still the same bar in the whole tape. I think what's crazy about this song though is the tap dancing at the end. Like, you know, you got you real life got a nigga tap dancing on your track. Like that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, and that alone goes to show the style of Westside. Like, all right, he's bringing something very, very different. Like, I feel like to even work with somebody like Tyler the Creator, you just gotta be different. Like, you gotta have a lot of creativity because, like, that's a different nigga. Like, he creative as fuck. You know what I'm saying? So, like, making music with them is not just making music. It's always I want to experiment with some shit. You know? So.
Yeah, you never know what can serve as inspiration. I definitely agree that, you know, you be around the Tylers and the Joeys even, and you got, you know, Benny and Conway probably like kind of getting to their own creative things in their own right. Like you bound to find inspiration somewhere or want to try shit and experiment, you know, with other things. And so, yeah, I ain't never heard tap dance on a rap song before. I really haven't, you know what I'm saying? So, sheesh. But no, that ends the album. That ends Pray for Paris. It was, I mean, dropped in April. Extremely solid track. I think if you weren't a true like hip hop head or Griselda fan, you probably missed this, you know, and you slept on this. But it's definitely worth a listen.
It's definitely worth it.
But yeah, so what would you how would you
summarize?
Yeah.
For me, I believe this was for people like you said that didn't know, that wasn't as much hip to Westside and the whole Griselda. For one, the cover art fucking crazy. That shit crazy. If you a fan of hip hop, you gonna fuck with this album. If you a fan of New York rap in general, and like, mind you, they from Buffalo and shit like that, but it's like this is great New York rap. But the only thing is, the difference is like he's talking about some overseas shit, like most of the shit that he's referencing to, but it's still like he's still putting him, like he's inserting his experiences onto these different tracks. And that shit was mad dope. Like it was really, Pray for Paris is really flat out hip hop. You gotta sit with the tape. He not coming in really on no trying to be a scene rap nigga. Like it's straight, it's bars. Niggas just talking their shit on him. You know what I'm like? It's a straight up bar tape. I feel like, and I know I say this through like multiple of the reviews and stuff like that, but with this tape, I think you're gonna find more than me personally. I find like more than it's a 13 track tape, and out of them 13 tracks, I feel like I can replay like truthfully 7 to 8 of them tracks, and that's not bad from a 13 track tape.
Not bad at all. That's
How
not
you
bad.
feel?
I share a lot of the same sentiments. Honestly, I think again, this is when you speak of this, when you speak of your Freddy's, when you speak really anybody in Griselda, you're talking about real hip hop. You're talking about bars. Like we not necessarily prettying this up. We not making this sound smooth necessarily. Like it's really symbolic of hip hop culture, symbolic of their lifestyle, like what they've been through. And I think that's extremely important when you're considering like the background story of a lot of these artists. Like this is their life. This is what their life felt like. This is what their life, is essentially or was, and this is where they are getting their inspiration from. So I think it's just a prime example of, really seeing real hip hop in 2020, which I don't think is, I don't think it's far-fetched to say that that's rare to see real hip hop.
I don't want to say this. I don't want to say real hip hop, but you're not getting.
I would.
I wouldn't even want to say that because a lot of people will argue that is the music out now not real hip hop. I just feel like it sound more close to the roots of hip hop in a sense because all of it in a sense is still hip hop.
I mean, no. Well, I don't think that only because I look at hip hop from a all things considered standpoint, like culture, things like that, inspiration. Like I said, a lot of music today rap, and not that rap is bad, and not that rap is extremely different from hip hop, but a lot of rap culture in a lot of ways, I feel like it's not necessarily the same as hip hop culture, if that makes sense. Like that's a much different conversation because it gets very technical for me, at least personally. But that's why when I say real hip hop, I'm not necessarily diminishing, the talent or the value of music that's out today. I just personally consider a lot of that rap versus music like this due to how it sounds, due to what they're talking about, due to the inspiration behind it. That's where I see it as hip hop. So maybe it's not so much real hip hop. It's more so like reminiscent of the foundation of hip hop, like you said. But that's more so what I'm getting at. Not talking about none of y'all favorite rappers now. I'm not saying nothing wrong about them. They cool.
All right.
But yeah, top three. Top three from the album.
My top three. 500 ounces, Sean versus Flair, and I'm gonna have to say Allah sent me. What's yours?
That was the order?
No order, no particular order.
Okay. 500 ounces, 327, and Sean versus Flair.
Yeah, that Sean versus Flair fucking different. That 3-2. I mean, I really like the hook on 327. I'd make 327. It would be my honorable mention.
Allah Semi would be my honorable mention. So, okay. Yeah. And Versace would be next. That's because I just really fuck with that beat, though, honestly. But yeah, okay. So, grade, man. What's the final grade? How did it do? How did it test, man?
I'm gonna give it a B plus.
B plus. Why B plus?
Because the sound, you still gotta truthfully you still gotta get used to the sound on Westside. Like it's not something that's just you can sit and it instantly it's his voice and everything, it just latches on to you. And I ain't gonna say you gotta force yourself, but it's like, if you want to hear hip hop, you're gonna sit your ass down and listen to it. So, and it doesn't hit you straightforward. It's like, you gotta be like, are you looking for something in it? But like, soon as they get to spitting and like you get used to the flow a little bit, it's like, damn, this tape it's not a bad tape, but in my personal opinion, I have to give it a B just off of the voice. And I know that's probably like a fucking hard grade or anything, but that's it's a B. I wouldn't say a B. It'd be a B plus. It's a B plus. So
I would definitely agree with a B plus for those reasons mainly. I think you have to give it a B plus because a B would be disrespectful in the sense of taking away from what he accomplished in terms of the bars he spit and how he did come on the tape, because he definitely showed his talent and showed his skill in a lot of ways. But like you said, I think from a listening standpoint, it's not like he can control his voice. Like, it's not like we saying he's supposed to do something different about that. But I think it does take some adjusting. And I think, unfortunately, it does kind of make it difficult to catch a lot of what he's saying. And as much as that doesn't take away from what he did do, it would be hard for me to give it an A, because I feel like it takes me being a fan and somebody who wants to pick up on the lyrics and wants to understand where they're coming from. I'm gonna do that, but I know your average listener won't. And even though that's how I look at it, how we look at it, it wouldn't change my grade, or it's not enough for me to feel strongly enough to be like, well, I'm gonna give it an A because of A, B, and C. Like, nah, I still see it in the B plus range as well. So I agree with you there, my brother. But yeah, I mean, because he also released a mix.
Fly God is awesome.
Yeah, 2. Yeah, you know, and it was cool, you know. But that one, he talked about, that was way more of a. He let a lot of other people get they shine on that tape, which is great, honestly. You know,
I think what I liked about that tape, that after hearing Keisha Plum on "Pray for Paris," that he give her 2 more tracks on the mixtape and, you know, let her shine and shit like that. So to me, that was dope, and you get to hear Bodie James again.
yeah.
So
And then there's another one like Steve. What is it? Stove God cooks.
Stove God, yeah. Stove God cooks.
That was different for me. I didn't know what that was. Yeah, what is brother name? I don't want to get brother name wrong. Yeah, Stove God cooks.
Stove God cooks.
He spazzed though. He spazzed on his tracks though. You know. So.
I was about to say, which one do you think better, Jose Canesco or One More Hit? With him just talking, with just letting Stevie God Cooks do his thing. Like, which one to you was like, I like this one better? And like, you kind of, I ain't gonna say it piqued your ears up, but it was just like, all right, you know, he ain't bad.
It was probably Jose Canseco. It was Jose Canseco for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, One More Hit was like that. He spazzed on both those songs by Jose Canseco. I think just because it was my first time hearing him, so as my kind of introduction to him, for him to spaz like that, and I wasn't expecting him. Like, I didn't know what to expect, but to get that, I was like, okay, you spit. Yeah. I got you.
I actually like Michael Irvin too. Michael Irvin wasn't a bad track to me.
It wasn't a bad track. It's cool, you know, but I think he falls into the same trap, you know, like when he's on a song by himself, you know, he falls into the same kind of pitfalls that we talked about on Pray for Paris.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's our album review of Pray for Paris, man. If you haven't listened to it, go listen to it. If you're a real hip hop head, if you just love that kind of music, you'll be a fan. Once you get past the voice and once you get used to the flow, I promise you, like, the bars are there. So if you're a fan of bars, it got everything you need. The Griselda tracks are standouts. You get another Tyler versus a standout. You know, Joey has a standout. So there's a lot to take from the tape if you just take the time to sit there and appreciate it. Any final thoughts on the album, or any final thoughts for the people?
No, just sit and listen to the tape, vibe to the tape. And after you listen to this, man, just open up the whole discography of all of Griselda and Mesmers. Like, they raw, man. Like, and I feel like they really putting on for their city. So, yeah, go on and check them out for sure.
You know, most definitely. Well, shit, that's it for us, man. And until next time, next week. Peace.
Yes, sir.